What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to your favorite time of the day. Welcome back to Adobe Live with your host, Brandon Groce. I'm super excited to be with you guys today, whether it is morning, afternoon, or evening. And we have some very exciting things to get into. First off, I just want to let everybody know, if you guys were here yesterday morning and you witnessed the internet problems, we teleported Tim all the way from somewhere else to fix my internet because he has what's called that capital D, that good internet. He fixed it up and we sent him back and he's here with us in the chat. So we have good internet, and earlier this morning we had some grass cutters out in the lawn and we were like, look, listen, we have Adobe Live to do today, you gotta go. So everything is gonna work seamlessly, beautifully, and we can get into our segment for today. So I'm super excited. Let us please introduce yourself in the chat. We're super excited to have you here. Let us know where you are coming from, what you're excited about today, and that can include Adobe Live. All right, we have some house cleaning items. We're gonna talk about today's schedule and talk about the amazing movie application we're going to continue to build out today. So before we get into that, let's go and see what is happening in our chat today. All right, guys, hold on one second. We have Julia, we have Marsha, we have Mallory. Tim, what is happening? Mallory is like, what is this time? It's a lot of things. But okay, we'll answer all those questions, but I wanted to say to everybody a warm welcome. Let's get into our schedule. All right, so for our schedule today, we have me creating a movie app from scratch with you guys. Today we are focusing on auto-animation in Adobe XD. Next, we have at 9:30 a.m. PT, we have Photoshop compositing with our guy Colin Smith. We have next at 11:30 a.m. PT, we have Pre-Max Challenge with Kathleen Martin. And at 12 p.m. PT, we have Editorial Design with Carlos. Next in the lineup, we have 2 p.m. PT with our gal Voodoo Val with a draw along. And at 2:30 p.m. PT, we have Rework It. And I'm really not trying to say it again because I used it yesterday, but rework it, flip it, and reverse it. Not quoted by one of my favorite musical artists, with our magical creative duo. So that is our schedule for today. Let us go back and really say hello to some of you guys in the chat. Nor, what is happening? Mallory, Sean, what is happening on your side of the planet, guys? We have Edelyn. We have a pretty good show. Now, before we get started, guys, I know a lot of you guys are also on YouTube. Now, we're only reading the Behance chat, so if you're over on YouTube, chilling with your crew on YouTube, and you're sending messages, I know Tim is sending links for you guys to come jump over to Behance, so we can talk with you, chat with you, and answer any of the questions you guys have. So please hop over now so we can chat and also answer any of the questions while we are live here today during our session in building this and animating this app. All right, so let's get into. Marsha says no, what's happening? Nora says sometimes you also wear sunglasses. Indeed I do, but today we wear Ray-Bans, gold ones. All right, so context for those of you guys who are joining brand new to today's segment. Yesterday, we did a full design of what we see here. We were only able to get 3 screens in, so context. Today, we are going to focus on how much time do we have so far. We're 4 minutes in. I did good. I love to talk. But time-wise, we're doing good so far. What we plan to do today is, with the design we have, we want to prototype and animate this baby. And also, the thing is I want you guys to pause me just like we did yesterday. There were some very good questions yesterday regarding how did you Brandon, how did you do this? How did you do that? Brandon, can you pause? Can you please show us how you did this? That is what we're here for. We're here to learn the beginnings of Adobe XD and also how to quicken your workflow and things of that nature. We have Tom. Tom says, hi from Miami Beach. What is happening? What's going on, Kyle? Glad to have you back in the chat of Adobe Live. So we're just gonna get this started. We're gonna start with our login and sign up page, and we're gonna get to animating everything that we see here from the entire flow. I think we do have enough time to do that. We've only gotten 5 minutes into what we're supposed to be doing today, so we have quite some time. I can't do the math on that. Someone do the math in the chat. All right, so let's begin. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm actually gonna turn off my guides here by hitting Control, and I believe it's semicolon. The semicolon and the colon are in the same thing, but I'm on PC. So if you are on Mac, that would be Command semicolon or colon, one of those buttons. And so let's begin. I want to translate when we decide to click log in to go to this screen. So what I'm gonna do pretty simply is I'm gonna go to our prototype tab right here, and I'm just gonna start linking things up. And again, guys, what could that be? All right, so we're good. I think we're back. I'm just gonna keep rolling, guys. All right, so what we're gonna do here, we have our arrow, we're coming in here, and I'm going to change the transition type to Auto-Animate. Tim, I thought we fixed this. What is happening? All right, next what we're gonna pick, and guys, let me know in the chat if we're back. Tim says we're back. I'm going to pick, a lot of people have questions in regards to ease in, what is ease out, what is snap. A lot of these are really just whatever you're feeling that day and what you think looks best. My favorite is either to stick with the basic ease out or the snap. I like to go to snap just because it has a nice little jiggle at the end. Julia says we're back. Awesome. All right, hopefully that's the only freeze that we get. That was like a micro one. There's the people cutting grass outside. They got mad I shooed them away. They were like, we here to cut grass. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna just set this up. And let's see. I'm gonna actually ungroup some things because it actually makes it a little bit easier to animate some things. So I'm gonna ungroup what we made a component yesterday. We have our logo and we have our messaging here. So this is kind of what our animation looks like that we just set up. If I click log in, and it's pretty simple. Let's take a look at that again. It's a little bit of an animation. It's nothing too serious, but if we really wanted to get into it, like for example, we're gonna do all the basic prototyping and animation really quick, and then we can go super advanced, just so we can get some of the basics down. So we're now working on our next piece, and I kind of actually want to do a little bit of some advanced stuff. So this whole part that is in this gray, not gray, that's totally not gray, in this dark blue background, I kind of want it to jump up or shoot up when we go to this profile. So I'm gonna just select all of this stuff. I'm holding shift, whoops, don't move it. I'm gonna hold shift, grab all these elements from the forgot password to the sign up and even this. So I should have all of this. And don't forget the login, Brandon. I actually should group this. That'll make life easier. So I'm grouping everything, holding shift and just clicking all these different elements. And what I'm gonna do, as you guys who know are familiar with XD, I can copy all these elements. I'm gonna copy it to the previous artboard. And just like for those of you who are familiar with XD, or you understand that it's like a progression. You're telling XD, we want to take these elements starting in this position or in this opacity or in this way, and make it move from this artboard and to this artboard in this manner. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually bring all these things down. We might actually end up pulling things off of the artboard. Okay, we're not. All right, so we're gonna pull this down and turn the opacity all the way down, so that when we play this again, that actually bounces up. Now that was a little too quick. What I actually will want to do, rather than bring it all the way down, I think we might want to just bring it a little bit, not that far away from its final position. So we're just gonna bring it down just a little bit, turn the opacity down, and now let's check this out. There we go. So nice, smooth, nothing too crazy, and let's just roll with that. Marshall, what do you mean in this state? We have a whole bunch of people in the chat. There's a lot of quietness. What's everybody up to today? Are we at work? Are we chilling at home? What's happening? All right, so now we're gonna set up our next animation. We're gonna go back to a prototype, and once we click on login, we're gonna go ahead and drop ourselves onto this new page. Now, yesterday we talked about two things. I wanna go over this really quickly, because we have two of the same page here. we have this page, and I'm just gonna separate them just so we can talk about them really quickly. These two are the same page. There's a big difference between the two though. We have this page, right? It's nice and we can scroll, right? The nav bar stays where it should be, but you guys can see that you know, the status bar and the search bar, some of the elements that we might want to actually be sticky actually go away. And Sean says, it's so quiet. Ruben says, we're watching. That is a good answer. You guys are captivated. Nora says, we're standing still, captivated. It's the glasses in the tie, isn't it? It is. See, guys, I came prepared. I came and I got my little, you know, Tim sent in the mail. He was like, you know, Brandon, your tie looks dirty. This should be an Adobe sponsored handkerchief specifically for my tie. All right, so back to some seriousness. So we have one sticky element here, which is our navigation. But, you know, let's say we want some of this stuff to actually be sticky, right? So let's say we want to keep our status bar here. We want to keep our logo and search bar. Marsha, don't worry about it. We have our filters and then we have our navigation here. So what we did, just to show you how this is working, the elements, okay, not the navigation, but the elements like the logo and the search bar are sticky. How we did this was this. We grouped the entirety of the elements in the viewport. So let's just do this again so you guys can see live. So I took our basic scrolling screen and I just selected everything from the navigation to our, I think I can just group select all of this. So I'm just gonna drag everything here. I'm gonna Control G, group it. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over to my right-hand panel after I select that entire group, and I'm going to select vertical scroll. And now what I can do here is I can set where I want the things to be cut off, basically. So this whole area will become scrollable. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this bottom part, because basically think of this as a scrolling mask, or mask that scrolls. So all of this content that is within this group, so to speak, is going to be in this area, except we want to keep everything under this line. And if you guys don't know what this line is, basically it is the viewport. And what the viewport is if you guys are holding up a phone or, you know, even a screen, there's a certain sizing to it all, and basically this is what people call above the fold, or basically what is viewable at the moment. So if we turn, I'm using a lot of big words, I don't like big words and I'm confusing myself. So for example, if we press the play button on our prototype here, everything that we can see is above the view or in the viewport. And so really quick, and by the way, if you guys are wondering like why things are moving, it's because we didn't set this up correctly. I'm just trying to explain what the viewport is. So what I'm gonna do now is I accidentally took that navigation bar and I brought it inside of this. So I'm gonna pull that out, and I'm now gonna take this entire artboard and just scroll it up. Sean says above the fold. Don't worry about all the expressions I just used, Sean. But worry about what I mentioned in regards to the vertical scroll. So what we did here is we just, all those elements that we grouped, right? If I go back, I'm gonna just Control Z everything I did. So I'm gonna so this is our scroll group, right? And what we did to do that is we just selected everything there, we grouped it, and then we went over to our right-hand side and clicked vertical scroll. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say only have things visible in this area here. I'm gonna just right in line with that vertical, or this, I don't even know the technical term of this. The actual, Tim, if you can help me out, because you're like the brains. You fix my internet and everything. What is this particular portion called? It's like the bottom of your where your screen ends. I call it the viewport, but I feel like there's a better term for it than calling it the viewport, because I think that's a confusing term. It's basically what your screen entails. So this is the actual size of an iPhone. And so I'm basically just saying, just show only things within that size and make it scrollable, things scrollable within there, or in that part that I grouped, if that makes sense. Nora says it's the viewport limit. Tim says it's the fold. There's a whole bunch of words for it, but this way is a lot better than long scrolling your prototype if you would like to have some sticky components at the top. And what I mean by sticky is that when somebody scrolls, you want the things to still be there. Because right now we just have the stickiness of the navigation, which is cool. But if we have a search bar, filter, logo, etc., status bar that we would like to continue to have there as our customer or user is scrolling, let's use the vertical scroll group. If I look, Tim is saying if I look to the right, it will tell me what it is. I knew it was to the right. I was just like, where is it? Because I was looking here and I forgot there's this number. This is the viewport height. So it's basically the height of whatever device you're using. Let's see, and it's different for every device. Desktop, if you have a 1920 by 1080, obviously the height of that is the 1080 portion. All right. So let's go back. That was a little, like a little class session there. Let's go back to our prototyping. All right. So what we're gonna do here now is we are going to, once our customer clicks our Wonder Woman screen, we're gonna jump over to, what just happened? We're gonna double click in here. We're gonna pull this over and bring everybody over to this screen. Now, what I want to do in addition to that is this. Hold on. So I'm gonna go back to design, and just to show you guys what that transition looks like, it's super simple. There's nothing like super sexy about it. So this is what we're going to do. We're gonna add some of that, what is the chef's kiss to it. Nora says, to be more precise, it's the height of the physical screen. In this case, the iPhone X will change if another screen is selected. Much better. See, this is why I like the chat. And Tim is always swooping in. He gave me the handkerchief and everything. All right, so let's see. So what I want to have happen is I actually want this image that we have here to scale up to fill this. And then our other details such as the play button, the timing, the actual play bar, timing of the video, and other icons to show up. All right, so what we're gonna do to do that is we're gonna go into our layers really quick. We actually might do something a little bit different, to be honest with you. So this is rectangle 104, and this is rectangle 483. All right, so we're gonna try something. We're gonna try to take this name. Actually, we're gonna name it Wonder Woman. Boom. And we're also gonna name this other rectangle Wonder Woman. Tim says, I prefer the blue draggable thingamabob. I like that too. All right, so let's see. Because there are some groups within this, and I think that might mess us up because when things are stored in groups, things get a little funky. But let's test this out. And this is all part of the process, guys. Like, there is no, like, let's also check this out too. All right, we're on Auto-Animate Snap. What we might need to do here is pull this photo out of this group here. And actually, we're not gonna pull it out of the group. We're gonna duplicate it. We're gonna have to do a little workaround because as you guys can see here, this is within a scroll group and I don't want to mess up that scroll group. So we're just gonna duplicate our Wonder Woman here, and we're also gonna change this too. Sean says you'll be getting an email from the XD team soon. Why? All right, let's check this out. So we're gonna go to Wonder Woman here. Our copied version, you guys can see this is, whoops, actually that's not. This is our gradient from a while back. All right, so we're going to do, where is our actual, we need to see this. All right, so this is rectangle actual 04. So this is, I'm gonna put this here. All right, so So what we're gonna do, this is our actual WW image. We're just gonna name that. And we're gonna duplicate this, copy, paste. It's on the top of our group. We're gonna take it out of the group for now. We're gonna go to design, and we're just going to, I'm gonna also take it out of the scroll group. I'm gonna turn the opacity all the way to 0, and you'll see why. Because what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take this image, and I'm just going to, let's see, how do we wanna do this? And I'm doing something a little complicated right now too, guys. Because there's a whole bunch of how I grouped everything to begin with. If I want to get a specific animation, all the folders have to be the same, all the names have to be the same. And what we might do is, let's see, let's turn this off really quick. We might just copy this entire folder, delete this, and just copy this entire folder over here, just like this. And what we're gonna do from here is, let's see what happens if we just scale this down to this size. And this might look a little funky. We're gonna turn the opacity down. All right, let's take a look at what happens here. Just to play this game. There we go. All right, so it doesn't look that crazy. All right, and let's also prototype this back arrow here as well. So I'm gonna, a big question I get from, why is the stream killing your eyes, Sean? Sean says no dark mode. We have all the dark mode today. Oh, are you talking about after sending them daily emails about dark mode? You guys are hilarious. All right. So one of the questions I get a lot with some of my students are like, I have a hard time, especially when I group things. How do I click into, say, like the heart or these other icons I have here? There's multiple ways. You can either double click or just keep clicking until you get, because every click kind of like takes you into the group. So first click, we have our group. Second click, if I can actually click on the heart, that will actually take you into the folder and then allow you to start manipulating or selecting the items in there. Or to save your life, you literally can just hold Control and click any element ever. Which is much easier and actually how I like to operate because I don't have to like click 5 times. Marsha just says, I just click and perfect. All right, with that said, click and shout. I want you guys to click the like button whether you are on YouTube or Behance and shout and scream. All right, it's so loud that we can hear you at Brandon's headquarters and the Adobe headquarters as well. All right, so I'm just gonna click Control, click my left arrow, and I am going to go to prototype. I'm gonna pull this all the way back to our previous artboard, and it already has the action set up for me for my easing for snap and point 3. Marsha, we're gonna leave it up to you. You have to check. You have to check. Timmy, we have to make sure that everybody has smashed that beautiful blue button. I must see the numbers increase to continue. I saw one increase. All right, let's continue. All right, so this is what we have, guys. So we have our click here, boom, and we have our back. The back is a little odd. You can see it does a little, the closing is a little funky. But the open is good. But we can fix that along the way. And you guys can also see some glitching happening on the way in. And the reason that is that Adobe has to basically make, if these elements that we have here are not in existence on the previous artboard, Adobe XD is literally as quickly as it can basically trying to manifest in the next artboard. It's like, oh God, we don't know where these came from. It's gotta like write them in. So we're gonna help Adobe XD very quickly, and whatchamacallit, and bring them in to the previous artboard just to help XD out a little bit. Nora says, my computer screen just exploded. Nora says, where do you get the movie covers from? This is a great question. It's from a deep, deep friendship, and their name is Google, and it's, you know, they really come in handy, Lord. That's where I get most of these from. Google or I don't even know what it is. What is it called? IMB or IMDb for this particular thing with the movie titles. Caitlin says that's me. I'm not sure if you're talking about the clicking and shouting, but if you are, I think we can all agree on that. All right, so we have a couple things to pull on over to our previous screen. We have our user here and whoever posted this video. And so, yes, but we are not profiting off of this, Laura. We are using this for educational purposes. This is a great question. And let's see. We are going to group, let's see if there's any background here. All right, so we can make my life easier. And exactly, Marsha, those ones exactly. So I'm just gonna click and drag and select all these things over here. And I might want to save myself a little bit because when we're on this screen, first off, we want to make sure the buy ticket is persistent. And what I mean by persistent is just how we had our navigation items on, oh, I deleted it, on this screen. So we have this, we want this to be at the top, which it is, but we want to make sure it is fixed position while scrolling. We want to do the same thing here. And I want to say thank you guys for those of you guys who hit that thumbs up button. Much love. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this segment with us. I'm going to group this bottom portion with the buy tickets, this back screen here and here. See, Tim coming in with them serious answers. I like it. All right, let's do this. So we have, all right, that's one piece. Second piece, cool. We have it grouped. And we are going to pull it exactly where, if you guys remember in the chat, put it what it is in the chat. This blue line, if you guys remember. We're gonna make sure it's the viewport line, or viewport height rather. We're gonna make sure that we click fixed position when scrolling. And we're gonna pull this off to the side for a second because we wanna group everything else. We're gonna do our little vertical scroll group just like we did with our previous elements. So I'm going to just click and select everything here. I'm going to not, do I wanna grab the background or not? We'll just do the background and see what happens. So I'm gonna hit Control G, group all of this. And I'm going to do our vertical scrolling just like this. And I'm going to pull our line all the way up here. Possibly. And we're going to pull this line also just about right here. Ruben comes in. The viewport limit, Brandon. Stop forgetting. We appreciate you. All right. Now, the line went... Okay, here we go. I'm gonna pull this out because I accidentally put it in our viewport. I'm gonna put this back where it belongs. And let's just check out where we are. Let's test out. Oops. Let's go in here. The reason why that happened is I had responsive resize on and we don't want that. Not yet. So I'm going to turn that off on my artboard. If that has ever happened to you and you've just thrown your mouse, you now can retrieve your mouse and shout less. Unless you're clicking the like button. And just unpress this. This has happened to me so many times when I was like just brand new to XD and I was like, why in the world is stuff moving like that? It's because of a responsive resize. It has its time and its place. I usually use it when I'm very close to the final portion of what I'm doing. All right, so I'm going to make everything fit within that viewport, and let's test where we're at. So I'm gonna press play on my prototype here, and there we go. So everything is scrolling here. This can stay sticky. Very nice. And also what we could do is we can also make this part of the group. Because that, it might not matter to us, but, for this particular thing, I have, it basically just said like, oh, you know what? Because we want introduction and comments, we might want that to stay at the top. And really, what we might want to stay is introduction, comments in the background, and all the other things can scroll. So let's go and fix that. But I wanted to point this out. We have the movie stays there, and we have our, we have our other content that's scrolling, and we have the buy tickets at the bottom that is staying. You guys are having copyright questions in the chat. These are really good questions, and Tim has some really good answers in regarding if this were for a client project, you would have to license these things. So if you guys have any questions about the copywritten sort of things, check out, just scroll up a little bit, check out, if you guys are on YouTube, come over to Behance. All the questions are being answered here, and Tim is going in. He's answering some really good questions here. And guys, for those of you guys who are captivated in what we're doing, please, if you have any questions in the back of your mind, feel free to drop them in the chat. There are no wrong questions. We will answer them all. All right. So we have that, and we can go back to this if we really want to do some interesting things. I think I do want to do. I'm going to Control Z a few things here, and I want to. Let's Control Z all the way. I'm even gonna ungroup. Perfect. So now I'm just gonna select everything here, not select the blue background or these navigation items. And I believe I grouped them already. I did not. Okay, we're gonna group it. We're gonna go to our scroll, and we are going to have it scroll to right about here. And we're gonna scroll this to our viewport line, viewport height line. And we're gonna scroll this back up. Ooh, we had that responsive resize button on. Okay, we're gonna drag this from the bottom, bring that to the responsive resize, or excuse me, the viewport height, and we're gonna drag our buy tickets in, make sure that it has fixed position when scrolling ticked. Hey, Amit, switch to Behance. Yes, very nice. See. All right, I was just reading the chat. Hey, what's going on, Sam? How you guys doing? We have both Sam and Tim. This is wonderful. Guys, if you don't want a thumbs up for me, thumbs up for Sam and Tim and for answering those amazing questions. All right, so this is what we have here now. So we have our movies sticking here. We have our introduction and comments. We can now have that navigation stay sticky, and this comment section or this introduction section we can actually have scrollable while the buy tickets button is staying there. So pretty cool stuff. And I'll come back to this image a little bit. I'm going to duplicate it just so I remember to come back, because we can do something that's actually really cool on swipe up to actually minimize the video and have larger space for us to actually have this information or this content show more on the screen. But we'll come back to that. All right, so on to the next. Marsha says, I Googled. You have a good friend there, Marsha. All right, let's see. Next, we're gonna go to buy tickets. That'll be our next call to action, in which we get dropped on the theater page here. So now what we're going to do, again, is this is what our prototype looks like. It's just gonna be there's not gonna be any animation here. It's just gonna flip. And so to actually have some animation here, we want to pull in not only some of the content that we have over here, but also we want to pull in some of this content that we have over here, so there's some animation and transition. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start off with some of this content here. And we're going to copy this over. Same thing with our bits here. Copy, bring them on over to this artboard. And what we're going to do is we are going to pull, I'm going to select this bottom portion. Whoops, we're going to also bring our buy tickets over. We're going to select our background, our content, and our buy button, and we're going to just drag this stuff down. Just like this. Turn the opacity down. And with our movie portion, we're going to just scroll up or pull it up and turn the opacity down. So it basically opens up and shows what's behind it. And let me just Okay, wanted to make sure that I didn't have the status bar pulled over. So let's check this out. There we go. So we have a little bit of an animation there, and I also do, there we go. Now that was very simple. We can do it a lot more. We can make it a little bit more advanced animation, but like I said, I'm gonna do a quick time check here, see where we are at. 12:07. When did we start? 11:30. Wow, time has flown. But you guys are asking some really good questions. Laura says, yes, I was just curious because I recently worked on a movie app just for educational portfolio and had trouble finding movie covers in stock sites with license. But I constantly see people posting movie apps, projects in social, so I was wondering how it'd be done. I think Tim gave the really good technical answer to this. If it's educational purposes and you're not making money off of it, you're not trying to monetize it anyway, 100% you can put it out there. I know there's some gray areas. I'm not a lawyer, disclaimer. I'm not saying what is real and what's not, but from experience, I have never gotten in trouble when if I'm doing, and if you guys watch me on Behance or live stream, on my own channel, by the way, plug, it's either to the right or to the left of the screen. You guys can follow me on Behance, and I live stream every Monday and Tuesday at 9 a.m. EST. And for educational purposes, you're not gonna get dinged for those things unless you're trying to, or I've never gotten dinged for using other people's images. I always give credit. That is important, where you got these things. But for educational purpose and for practice, no problem there. Let's see. Where was I? I went like full teacher mode and I forgot. All right, so we're here. Let's see, we went buy tickets, we opened things up, and now I missed this L110 section here. I think we're just gonna turn the opacity down on that. Thank you, Sam, for the plug. You guys can go to that link, and if you guys want more design education, you guys can check me out every Monday and Tuesday. We're trying to open up that Friday. Soon. Okay, now we're gonna prototype this back arrow very quickly so I don't have to keep opening and closing the play. All right, so here we go, play, boom. Buy tickets, we have that open and close, and we have that nice bounce too. And you guys can see this actually disappears as well. I actually wanted to go down. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go back to design, turn that opacity up. I'm gonna actually, bring it down, then opacity. And why I did that is because if you guys saw, when it was animating to the next screen, it actually, it went up and it just looked weird. We could also just make it not move and just turn the opacity down. All right, so now we're at this screen and we can very simply, we can do a couple things. So if we really wanted to, which would create a lot of movement, we can pull these things out from side to side, just like this. And I think it might be a little weird. Hold on, let's check this out. Oh wait, not like that actually. We're gonna keep this where it is. This stuff, however, I think I brought it in. Now that we've transferred everything on this screen to this screen, because we're like, hey, when we click this call to action, we want to go to this screen and have all the elements on this page move. But now we want to bring these elements on this page to our previous screen here. And what we're going to do, this is where things get tricky. What I'm going to do, because things actually get very hard to see over on that screen, I'm going to copy it and paste it so we have a duplicate here. And I'm just gonna move these sections like this. And again, there's more than one way of doing this, guys. This is just the Brandon way. I just wanna show you how I kinda do this. Ariana, oh, it's okay. You practically missed the entire stream. It's okay. There's gonna be re-recordings of this. We can see the face, the glasses, and the tie. Right after this, you have missed nothing. You've just joined the conversation at an amazing time to ask any questions you have as we go through the next 10-ish minutes. So I've moved the element here. I'm gonna Control X, and I'm gonna paste it over to our previous artboard and turn the opacity down. Reason I moved all those things is I actually want these elements to animate into place but come from alternate sides of the screen. So I'm gonna click back, click buy tickets, and you see how the different movie show times came in from the sides. That's what we want to do. So we're gonna go back so you guys can see that very quickly. Boom, bam, pow, shazam. All right, what else can we do? What else can we play with there? I think we can do a little bit where we just bring the, I think we can play with this a little bit. So this is what we'll do. We'll copy this, bring this over here. And like I said, it's kind of hard to see over here. So I'm just going to copy, paste on the same artboard and do my little movement changes here. So I'm going to move it to the left a little bit. And I'm going to take these here. And I'm going to move it, where should I move these? I'm going to move it down. It might be a little awkward. But I'm going to turn that down, opacity, and I'm going to turn this down. Actually, not do that yet because I will lose them. All right, everything that I just changed, I'm going to Control X, cut it from that artboard, and I'm just very simply going to click my previous artboard and hit Control V to paste it in the exact same spot with the movements included, and now I can turn the opacity down. Again, remember, Adobe XD is very sequential. It's like we start here and here. That's why we do one artboard then the other. There we go. It was super simple and it was very subtle. It just, you know, what we had here, it came in from the left and the different details about Wonder Woman just came up. Hey, what's going on, Taylor? What are we studying in the chat? I see that there is some Sean said there's nothing to learn here but style. I don't know whether to be grateful or slightly upset because I'm like, well, granted, if we all buy gold ties after this, I will be happy. But I really hope that we can at least auto-animate at least 2 screens. A tie and auto-animate 2 screens, ladies and gentlemen. And if we are talking style, I really need to feel how much you guys are digging the style. If you're really digging that style, guys, you gotta hit the like button. I have to taste that blue button go, and I need to see it increase. I need to feel it. All right, you guys made me forget where I was and how much time we have. We literally have like 10 minutes-ish. All right, let's get into this next screen. Because we at some point need to get to, all right, where are we at here? So we're Cinema 16. We're gonna select this one. All right, so we've selected this button here to move over here. And now we're gonna move, because some of the icons and stuff are the same, or some of the elements rather, we just have this new portion. Very simple. So what we're gonna do here is we are going to take that, and then we have this. All right, so I'm gonna select the theater portion, hold shift and hold the date portion so I have these 2 things. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy it and I'm going to paste it onto the next artboard rather, and I am going to take the date, turn that opacity down, and with this theater portion, I'm gonna pull it down a little bit and just turn the opacity down. So this is what we're looking at. And before we actually show that, let's see, we have showtime. I'm gonna ungroup this a little bit. So ungroup, I hope that doesn't mess a lot of things up. Messes a little bit of things up. Hold on 1 second, guys. Oh, I felt the blue buttons on that one, guys. Let's see, let me Control Alt Z this, because this is where things get a little tricky and I don't want to confuse you guys. All right, so we're just gonna undo all of that. So we are here. This is what our animation looks like thus far. We click on view and we just shoot over there. Let's take a look at this. I'm gonna just grab Control, click on that button here, And Marsha's back at the shouting. I love this chat. I can't wait. Let's see. We are back here. What are some things that we need to do? I don't know why Nora said white snake. I'm looking back at the chat and seeing like random things happen. All right, so let's see. We have the date. Because what I want to do, I want to ungroup this portion. I just want to group these times here. So I've ungrouped it. I'm just going to group the seat selections. The show time should be on by itself, just like the date over here is. All right, let's do this. All right, this will be easier to animate. Now we're gonna go to prototype. View comes here. Actually, not prototype yet. We're gonna take this, or we're gonna start with this asset here, the theater asset, and all that grouping. We're gonna copy paste. We're gonna pull it. Actually, you know what might be easier? Taking the assets that we did over here on this side of the screen, where we had things pulled off to the side and turned down, I'm actually just going to copy that because I wanted to do the same thing. Pull it to our previous. And now this is what it will, let me do one more thing. I'm gonna take, yeah, this what gets hard after you like layer so many things. So I'm gonna take now our seat selection, I'm gonna copy it, paste it over here, and I am just going to bring it down by 2, holding shift and hitting my down arrow twice and turning that opacity down. Now guys, this is not your normal basic auto animation. I'm trying to make it a little bit, I'm trying to give something for everyone here. So we did the basic animations early on where it's just the login, sign up, simple movements, nothing too crazy. You don't have to copy and paste between artboards. It's just very simple. If you guys want me to go back to that, please let me know. Because now we're kind of getting in like, we're spending time territory. All right, so let's take a look at this. So here's where we're at. So we click view, boom, show times pop up. The movie theaters, they move out. So let's take a look at that again. Boom, boom. So that's all we were doing, and that's how we did that was we just took, let me just break this down a little bit more. So we have 2 layers. Let me just select both. I'm gonna drag them both out here. So we have that, and there should be another one in here. All right, yep. So we had 2 layers. And one was overlaid. So the elements that are on this screen are right here. And we were saying, okay, XD, take these elements that were here and just have them starting out a little bit lower. So we drag them on our screen here. Okay, there's another invisible thing, hold up. This is where things get tricky because I don't know what, I think I messed things up. All right. I made more things complicated. Forget it, forget it, forget it. Forget it. All right, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I'm gonna try to simplify things a little bit more because just remember, out of anything, just tell XD this is where I want elements to start, this is where I want them to end. End of story. But I'm gonna try to simplify things a little bit more. All right, next we're gonna select a $40 seat. So we're gonna click on this seat here, or this call to action here. Again, if you guys saw me click 20 million times, you can do that, or you can just click Control and click the button. I'm gonna take my arrow, I'm gonna bring it here. And again, I can simply do, like if we animate here, we have our, if we take a look at this here, if we click on our arrow, we have the snap, we have the 0.3. Whoops. Let's go back here. Let's click on our artboard. If we click the $40, you see it's just like a transition. What we want to have happen instead is we're going to take this entire piece, this entire element, and this is what I was talking about. We have, oops, that's the invisible element. We have this element here, right? I'm going to copy it. I'm saying, XD is saying this is where it starts. All right, we're going to our new artboard and we're saying, where do we want it to end? Okay, for simplicity, I'm just gonna turn down the opacity to 0. We want it to not show in the next artboard. Now this element, I have to go to the previous artboard. I'm just gonna copy it, I'm gonna paste it, and I'm going to drag it down a little bit. I want it to start a little bit lower than where we want it to be and turn the opacity down. Sean is like, learn so much and style. I love it. All right, so now when we check this, all right, when we click our $40, boom. You see how simple that is? And we are now going to click we're gonna control click the arrow, go back to prototype, and pull it back this way. We're actually pretty close. What is time left? We have 3 minutes. So what I will do is very simple. So we're here, and I'm just gonna prototype the rest of this just for time's sake. I'm gonna click the rest of what we have here. I'm gonna make sure that we have this portion is above our line here. Or actually, we can leave it here for now. If we wanted to be fancy and we like truly wanted to be UX-ly correct, we could do what I was about to do. But we're gonna just prototype the next button over here. And very simply, I can just grab this entire thing here, copy, paste it here, bring it down just a little bit, turn the opacity all the way down. We're here, prototype, we're gonna click our next button, bring it over to our Pay Now. And very simply, we can select this here, go back to design, paste it over here, bring it down just a little bit, turn down the opacity. All right, 2 minutes. And I'm gonna do one last bit. I'm gonna copy our final piece here, paste it, bring it down a little bit, turn down the opacity. All right, let's take a look. We have 2 minutes here. I wanna show you guys what we have done together today. And again, you can always rewatch this episode and part 1 on your own time or even after this. So we've done login. We can put in or enter another password. We can log in again. We are now at the home page. And let's see, are we at the correct home page? Well, I don't think we are. Uh-oh, did we break the oh yeah, that's why. We're going here. Not that way. All right. Login. Login. Wonder Woman. We have our scrolling beautifulness here. Buy tickets. View tickets. Seat selection. Scroll down, click next. We have our ticket price, we click next. We have how we want to pay. And I forgot to do the pay now. But regardless, we have 1 minute here, guys. And I do want to just say thank you guys so much. If you guys want to stick around for the next segment, please do. But if you want to watch, there was a lot that we did here. We both did some beginner basic level stuff and also some advanced things here. If you guys want to have more in-depth and even style conversations with me, you guys can follow me on Behance. I don't know if it's to the right or to the left. It's different orientation every time. But you can also follow me on Behance, where I do live streams like this every Monday and Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So with that said, thank you guys for joining us, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you guys, Tim, Sam. Appreciate you guys with your moderation. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.